and welcome to the MSc Business Management webinar from Edinburgh Napier University. My name is Helen Spiropoulos and I'm the Admissions Manager at Stafford Global. And joining me this evening all the way from the UK is Dr. Jackie Brodie. Good evening to you, Dr. Jackie.
Good evening to you, Helen, and everyone who's joined us today.
Good. And just to introduce Dr. Jackie very briefly, Dr. Jackie is actually the program leader for the MSc Business Management program. So all the questions that you may have will be directed to Dr. Jackie as well as myself. So you're in very good hands this evening. And I'm just looking here on the right-hand side, and I can see there's quite a lot of you that have joined us. Even as far as South Africa, I can see, as well as KSA and Bahrain. So welcome to everyone from across the globe. Okay, so how we are going to conduct this webinar this evening is I'm just briefly going to introduce you to Stafford Global, what our function is, and I'm then going to hand you over to Dr. Jackie, who's going to take you through the program. And towards the end of the presentation, you will have the ability to type out any questions that you'd like to ask me or Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie can focus obviously on the academics of the program, and I can assist with regards to the admission processes. Okay, so let's get started. Who is Stafford Global? Well, Stafford was established in 1993, and we are a resource centre for distance learning education in the Middle East. And we have recently also branched out into various other continents as well, so the continent of Africa, also in Canada, and other countries across Europe. Currently, the resource centre for 6 UK universities, one of which obviously is Edinburgh Napier University. Now, we do offer a variety of programs, ranging from certificates to diplomas, bachelors, MBAs, right through until doctorates. So we really do have the programs that would suit your personal as well as professional needs. Now, the mere fact that you're here with us this evening means that you have been in touch with one of our experienced academic consultants, and our function is to assist students throughout the administration process, the application process, and we do also offer some academic support as well. Now, I'm going to hand you over to Dr. Jackie. As I said, she'll take you through the program, and I will join you again towards the end of the presentation. Over to you, Dr. Jackie.
Oh, thank you, Helen, for your introduction, and welcome everyone to this webinar, where really what I want to do is look beyond the current situation that we're facing at the moment and really help you imagine what your future is going to be like. What I'd like to do today then is give you some background information regarding the benefits of choosing Edinburgh Napier to support your postgraduate education. And I really want to tell you about the programme, MSc Business Management. And then, as Helen said, give you that opportunity at the end of this fairly brief presentation to ask me some questions. To begin with, though, just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been at Edinburgh Napier University nearly 16 years now, and I have a PhD in Information Systems Management. As you can see from my qualifications, got quite a few degrees myself, and what you'll realise when you come to Edinburgh Napier is that on the programme you have a whole range of academics with a whole lot of qualifications and business experience to share with you and support you in your learning as you move through the programme. And my own area of specialism is creativity and innovation, and I teach that to MBA and MSc in the school. So hopefully you'll get that experience as well. I'm really committed to online learning. I've had the opportunity to teach online learning for 8 years now. I've had a lot of experience with online learners, and I'm also head of learning and teaching in the school. So I really do love learning in general. But what I love about online learning, though, is it gives people that opportunity to hear other people's mindsets, share other ideas and culture, and really just knowledge on a global platform. So online learning allows you to stay at your workplace, progress in your career, get lots of opportunities from what you're learning, and then gives you that fantastic qualification at the end. And it's really what I want to offer you. So please do consider us as your provider in terms of your degree. Okay, I'll move on now, and this little slide it's just telling you a little bit about Edinburgh, really. So where are we? Well, in terms of the world, we're in the beautiful United Kingdom, really green country. And as a university, we're actually based in Edinburgh, which is the capital of one of the countries of the United Kingdom. And so it's in Scotland. So what you find with Edinburgh, it's a really vibrant city. It's not far, really, from London. If you're flying, it's only like an hour away. So if you do decide to come and visit us and you do decide to graduate, then it'll only take you about an hour. It's an ancient city. It's got a really beautiful castle that sits on a rock, so you can visit that when you do visit us. Just breathtaking in the sunshine. And it belongs obviously to the Queen of the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth. And she does come and visit us in the summer months, and she stays in the palace, which is not too far from the castle. So Edinburgh itself has been voted one of the best cities to live in for many years now. And it's just a great accolade for us. We've just always got something going on. For example, we've got more FTSE Tech 100 companies than anywhere else, apart from London. We've also home to the largest arts festival in the world. So really thriving, exciting city, which we'd love you to come and visit if you did come and visit us before graduation or even during graduation. I've actually got a current student right now who's telling me that he's planning to come up and visit me. He's based in England, so that'll be lovely. So in terms of the university, who we are, what we do, we actually started off as a technical college. So there was this real focus, I think, on employability, making sure people had the skills to really make a difference in their life. And that all started way back in 1964. But what we can see today is we've moved on. We're a well-known university now throughout the world, and we're really trying to make a difference to people in their workplace. We are now global. We support people who are professional, ambitious, and we ourselves try to be very innovative and very inclusive towards our students. So we are when you can see, we're actually one of the largest staffed universities in Scotland with 1,500 members of staff. So that's a little bit about the university, a little bit about Edinburgh, and really, as I said, I've mentioned Scotland a little bit too. Okay, so let's move on, and you can see what the campus actually looks like. I think sometimes when you're studying online, you don't get a really good sense of what the university is like. So I think this little map sums it up quite well to me. We have 3 main campuses, and within those campuses are 6 different schools. And they're all sort of different in who they're trying to support as well. So Sighthill campus, that's really for scientists, it's for nurses, it's a bit out of the city, very modern campus, really lovely campus as well that supports students. But then you move to Merchiston campus, which is much, much closer to the city, within walking distance to the city centre. It houses a School of Computing, School of Engineering, School of Arts and Creative Industries, and a fairly modern building there as well. And then you come to where you would be based, which would be in the business school. We're a really unusual mix because we've got a very modern part and a very modern part, and a very sort of ancient and well-known part, actually. Craig Lockhart campus, so quite well known throughout the UK. So 3 different types of campuses, 3 different types of experience, but basically you would be based in the business school, unless you're doing the governance route. Then you will get some academics who'll teach you from the School of Computing as well. Okay, so that's what the university is like. Just a little bit more about figures, actually. You might be wondering, I've actually heard from students who've said, what kind of university are you, how big you are, and things like that. So I think it's important to let you know that we do have nearly 20,000 students who study with us from more than 140 different countries. And actually on campus, it's nearly 1,400 students that are studying with us. So a lot of students are there. But we do have 6,000 students who are actually studying off campus with different partners throughout the globe. So very big university, very, very global. and embracing lots of different people from all around the world. So just I wanted you just have a glimpse of global exposure. I won't say too much about that really, but you can get a sense here when you're looking at it that we do educate people from the Americas, from Europe, different parts of Africa, Asia and Australasia, and also students who come from the Middle East as well. We've got quite a few students, Bahrain, Dubai, Kuwait, Oman. So lots and lots of different places that people come from and study. Quite exciting actually. It's really great in a class, and so many students give you such great feedback about learning new knowledge and new techniques from colleagues from a different place. So now what I want to talk about is Global Online itself, really, just give you a little bit of background about it. I want you to think about Global Online really as a branding. So it's a branding that universities set up so that we could design programs that were going to give you as much flexibility as possible to fit in with your personal and your work and your life commitments, really. It was set up to make higher education accessible for people who are not based on, who couldn't come into campus as frequently. And obviously, as time has gone on, it's spread globally. What's amazing is, though, that my program, which is the MSc Business Management Online, actually has 299 students as opposed to the one on campus, which only has 60 students. So you can see that my program has grown in size and really accommodates a whole range of people. We have a lot of consistent framework, so depending on what module you take, it'll be very similar. You'll be able to find your way around each module very quickly once you've studied one module with us. And it has a lot of unique features as well, such as a global online map, where you can actually map where you are and let people who are close to you connect. In this small example, you can only see 3 students connecting, but now there's a lot of students connecting across the globe right now, so it's really exciting. Yeah, and the great thing about a global online program is it's 100% online. It's you don't have to come and take part in our live academic help sessions if the time doesn't suit you. So it really, truly supports an international experience. And we have the 3 intakes, January, May and September, and it's really designed to suit your personal and professional needs, really. Okay, so let me just move on a little bit and tell you a bit more about the program. So what you're here listening to today is about the MSc Business Management Online. And so, as I said, this is my program, and it's just fantastic that so many people can find out about it and learn through this program. It started off only with 7 students, and it's got nearly 300 now. So in terms of the way you study through this program, you can do a sort of a general route through it. So let me just tell you about this general route. So no specialisms, but you do get to study what I think is actually quite an exciting mix of modules. So the first module that you would get to do is leadership, strategy and innovation. And actually this is a module we're using to upskill people in Scotland to make a difference in their own organisations. So it's one of my favourites actually. It's a great module. It ties together some of the concepts I think that are really important for organisations to succeed today. And then we've got organisational change management. And as you know, so many organisations had to go online recently because of everything that's happening with the pandemic. So this module really allows you to think about how to support people when they're in a state of flux and how to support them to bring about change in an organisation effectively. A module that got 100% actual satisfaction last year was business economics and finance in a global environment. I think people really enjoy the fact that it looks at finance on the small businesses and their finance, but then spreads that out to think on a much wider scale about economics and business economics in particular. So a really good module. We have another module called Creating Business Excellence in Marketing, and again, you're looking at a scorecard, and that helps support you thinking around how you can use marketing to create a business that excels. So really good program module again. And then of course there's my own module, Managing Innovation, where I explore the process of innovation. Contemporary issues of strategic management, I just really good, just looking at current issues that might arise when you're managing in an organisation, how you can overcome them with strategy. And then, of course, near the end of your degree, you do a module called Research Methods. And that module is where you write a proposal, where you choose a topic that's part of what you've been studying, and then you develop that into a full dissertation, and you spend some time working with a supervisor who supports you. So in total, that's 180 credits. So graduation, usually at the beginning of July or the end of October, if you're graduating in winter and you've done the whole degree. You might decide to leave early. Sometimes students do decide that they just want to do that one module, so they do that. That's 20 credits. More likely they will study for a postgraduate certificate, which is 60 credits, so that's 3 modules, or a postgraduate diploma, which ends up being 120. But as I said, in reality, we notice that most students want to complete the full degree, because it will support them in their career. And I think most people who do this course are really geared up to trying to get forward in their degree studies. Okay, so we do have specialist groups, and they came about actually because we were asked by students, can we specialise in a specific area that will help us in our workplace? So we have specialisms such as entrepreneurship. So that might be people who want to be innovative in their own organisation, or they want to set up another organisation. So they learn about business planning and innovation there. But we've also got things like human resource management for people who are maybe engaged in supporting human resources in their own organisation. We've also got things like logistics and supply chain management, a very, very popular option. Likewise, MSc project management, again, very, very popular with people who want to progress in their career and become managers of projects. So exciting different options for you there. And again, study the different modules, see which ones you think you would like to do, but certainly it's all possible. In terms of what we offer you on the programme, there's a whole series of interactive online resources. There is a global online induction that you undertake that helps prepare you to be a student on a university, to understand the regulations and really become part of the community. We've also got our own programme page, and again, you'll find resources from me to support you in your studies. And I also go on and hold regular sessions with students, talk to them about how their studies are going. And then, of course, you've got your individual modules. So 3 different layers to support you. You also have global online support, who are administrative support, who do contact if you're having any problems. All right, so what would your study be like? Well, when you're studying online? Well, you can study up to 2 modules per trimester. It's totally up to you if you decide to do that, depending on your work commitments, really, whether you study 1 or 2 modules with us. And then, obviously, as I said, there's an induction. You get lots of resources, like a weekly surgery session with your tutor and your module leader to support you thinking around the modules that you're studying. So really, really good. You get access to the library. And one thing that people often ask me, so I'm going to say it here, is yes, you do get an Edinburgh Napier library, Edinburgh Napier card. So yes, you're just treated exactly the same as all the students who are studying with us through the on-campus version of the modules. In terms of the calendar year, what does it look like? You can see that really, depending on the speed, it may well just take you 5 trimesters to complete the programme. More likely it'll be longer than that though, because your dissertation you can take up to 2 semesters, and why not? Why not take your time and do the best that you can with the dissertation? So in terms of the way that it would be split, you would start in January if you want to start then, do 2 modules with us, and then over a period of 13 weeks engage in that module study, and then submit your coursework at the end of those ones. So as I said, really, really good set of modules that you would be taking. In terms of the way that the pages look and the individual modules, there's introductory videos, there's a clock, so you can always know what time it is. And I think that's always important to know what time it is in the UK, so that when you're contacting us, you're not expecting an immediate response, because there is this time difference. Yeah, so lots of really good stuff on the programme, on the module pages to help you. Each module page is split Each module is split into different units, about 10 or 11 units, and in those units, concepts, ideas are breaking down further. So lots of written material that you follow, progress tests, self-help questions, lots of reading, very well organised. But if you're having any issues, you can always reach out to both your module leader and your tutor. We also have academic discussion forums for you to look at. And when we have live academic help sessions, which happen every week, if you can't make it along, don't worry, because we normally record them. Or if there's only a few students there, then what we'll do is we'll take a transcript and we will share that with everyone. But everybody gets to know what was discussed in those weekly sessions. They're not compulsory though. So hopefully that brief glimpse into what the programme is like has whetted your appetite and you will be keen to come. But what are we looking for in terms of entry requirements for our course? Well, we're looking for a bachelor honours degree at 2-2 or above, so an upper second class degree level. And if you're worried at all about the class of your degree or anything like that, have a chat to your Stafford agents, because they're really good at helping you and understanding where your degree sits in terms of this degree and your previous degree. So we do sometimes consider lesser qualifications if you have quite significant professional work experience, and it's proper work experience as well at managerial level we're looking for. We're not just looking for work experience. So just keep that in mind, because I know that the admissions are looking for some kind of supervisory or real managerial experience. There is English language requirements, but again, Stafford can tell you all about that. But it might be that if English is not your first language, then you may have to go and have a test in that to make sure you're right level. Okay, just wanted to share some of the feedback I've got on my module. This is a couple of years old, but every year it's very, very similar. Students are just so happy about the experience they've had, the strategies they've learned, really enjoy the support that we give them. And particularly if they're moving from a different field, it's really helpful for them. So you can see that one of these quotes is from an airline pilot. So yeah, really great. I've got a fantastic bunch of students actually this term. There's 95 of them and they're just working so well together. So in terms of tuition fees, just think that's great that Stafford has got a small grant for you. So again, if you're interested in that, talk to your Stafford consultant and they'll tell you a bit more about that. And of course, in terms of deadlines, I'm sure they'll be fairly soon for you to apply, but I'm sure Helen's going to come back and Helen's going to tell us all about it. So thank you so much for listening to me over the last 25 minutes or so. I really hope that that's been useful. And I am so looking forward to hearing any questions that you might have about the programme. So thank you so much, and thank you, Helen.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jackie. That was very, very informative indeed. And I have been looking at some of these questions already in the background whilst you have been talking, and I've started grouping them together. A very interesting question from David. I noticed that some modules are the same as those offered in the MBA. What essentially is the difference?
So the modules, obviously for your core modules, you will be taught separately from the MBA students. However, for the modules that are part of a WIF route, you actually do get to have experience of working with the MBA. So that's a really, really good experience actually, because as you know, MBAs do bring their own work experience to it. And if we didn't do that, then the groups would be too small really. In terms of the learning experience, it really adds value. But for most of those modules that you saw, they are taught to you in a slightly different way than they would be taught to the MBA students, because we are looking for students who don't necessarily have a lot of work experience. They could have actually just done an undergraduate degree with us, and then they've gone back to their own country and they want to study in the Masters. So we're going to provide to you a lot more examples than you would on the MBA versions of those modules. We're going to challenge you a bit more around your thinking. So yes. So that's really the difference. You would only be studying one to two modules with the MBA students, but the rest of the modules you would be with your MSc cohort.
Good, excellent. I've got a question regarding attestation and accreditation, so I'll just briefly answer that. With regards to attestation and accreditation, it's very important that you do actually get in touch with your own ministries. And the reason we say this is that every single ministry across the world has got its own rules and regulations. So neither the university nor Stafford can actually give you a definite a yes or no about accreditation and attestation. So what we do advise is to get all the information from your Stafford academic consultant regarding the program. Do take the information to your local ministries and ascertain the attestation as well as the accreditation process. Okay. Right, and a very, very popular question that we get is, should I be doing 2 modules or 1? Do you think I can cope? Very, very popular question. Hello, Dr. Jackie? Okay, I think Dr.
Yeah,
Jackie.
I mean, you've got to think about how your own. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Continue.
Can you hear me? Oh, brilliant. Sorry, Helen. Yeah, fantastic. So I think you have to work out what your work commitment is, what your life commitment is, how many hours would you spend. I mean, you might be spending 8, maybe sometimes 10 hours a week. And then if you're doing 2 modules, that'll be a lot of modules, because notionally they're actually 200 hours each. So over the whole trimester. So yes, you just have to think, would you be able to do that? Some people start with just the 1 module, they find out how they are, and then they do 2 the following term. But some people start at 2 and they really enjoy that challenge. Just up to you. You really have to think about how it's going to fit into your life.
Good, yes, and that's exactly the flexibility of the program, is either way, either do the first module, then move on to 2, or if you do have additional time, do then take the 2. But do get in touch with your academic consultant, and we'll be able to guide you best. We like to hear a little bit about your working experience, how much time you spend at your work, and then we'll be able to advise you accordingly. And again, I'll just answer Noor's question with regards to online certificates. The certificate does not state online distance learning. Remember, the certificate that you'll be getting is identical to that which is given to a full-time student that will be doing it at the campus. So there's definitely no mention of an online on that degree certificate. Okay, and Amber's question is, what is the maximum time that I can actually complete this program?
Yeah, Amber, I mean, people do take their time to do that. So it'll probably be, if you do take your time, it would probably be about 4 years if you're just taking 1 module at a time. But most people are much quicker than that. They are between 2 and 3 years in most cases. It might be that you have to suspend your studies as well, so you have to take that into consideration. And people sometimes suspend their studies for a term, particularly given the current situation. Some students have suspended and they'll be back the following term. That's the whole flexibility of the programme, as you can see, rather than an on-campus programme that has to be completed usually within a year.
Good, and John's question is, what type of accreditations does this programme hold?
It doesn't have any accreditation at the moment. We are actually pursuing AECSB at the moment, so it'll be another couple of years before we get that, but that's what our goal is at the moment. So we'll let you know as soon as that accreditation comes through.
Okay, and again, a very popular question is, because we are scattered across the globe and our weekends may differ from one country or one region to another, how do the tutors actually communicate with us during those times?
See, what you find is most tutors won't be talking to you over the weekends. They will be, usually you'll have one or two sessions with a tutor, and that would be during a Monday to a Thursday. So we tend not to teach Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. So if you can't make it along to the session, just drop them an email and they will respond to you, because these sessions in most cases are really just giving you support. A lot of times they're talking about a topic, but you can watch that afterwards. But do just keep in touch, just keep the communication flowing, because that's the best way to be part of the community that we've developed.
Okay, and do any of these modules have examinations?
So luckily, none. Luckily, what we used to do was we used to have examinations, but we used to find that people used to start at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then some of them used to finish at 10 o'clock at night, and we used to think that's not very good. So what we do now is everything is just coursework, and you either have 1 or 2 pieces of coursework due by the end of the semester. So sometimes you've got a midterm, but in most cases you don't. You just have that final piece of coursework finished at the end of the module, and then some small multiple choice questions as you progress through the module, just to make sure you're grasping some of the main content.
Okay, and Amren's question is, I can see quite a lot of universities across the globe are undertaking virtual graduations. Would this also apply to Edinburgh Napier once I've finished my qualification?
I'm not sure what the plans are around virtual graduations. Right now, that is what we're doing, though, in the sense that we celebrate graduation. They take a few days to celebrate all the students who have graduated, because of the current situation where we can't all meet. But if things revert back to a more normal situation, what will happen is you'll be invited to come across and receive your certificate. Otherwise, you'll graduate in absentia, which doesn't cost you anything, and your certificate will be sent back out to you.
Good. And Mohammed's question is, I do not hold a degree, but I do have at least 5 years management experience in a business field. How many years work experience do I need to actually do this program without a degree?
I think what you need to do is, I think it will just depend, and admissions will look at that and they'll see what kind of work experience that you've got. So I think go ahead and apply and see, because we also have top-up degrees that are only 1 year long, that if you don't get accepted onto the program because of the type of work experience you've got, then you will be offered to consider one of those programs, and you could do one of them for a year and then transfer on to my degree. So by all means, please do apply. Let admissions see what you've got to offer.
Good. It's very important. I just want to add to that if you are going to send us your CV, it has to be very, very detailed. We need to actually see exactly what your roles and responsibilities are, and especially how many years you have been working. So the years, the months in your CV is very, very important for us to pre-assess.
That's right. And admissions spend a lot of time looking at that. So please fill in as much as you can.
Absolutely. And do you provide any credits? I have got a postgraduate certificate from another institution. I do not want to continue with them. So can I get credits from Edinburgh Napier?
This will all depend. You need to ask admissions. They'll compare the learning outcomes of your previous postgraduate certificate, compare them to our modules. It might be the difference in credit means that you can't get any credit, but I think it's always worth approaching them, telling them what you would like to get credit for, and letting admissions examine that
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, very important when you do send your application documents to your Stafford consultant, please ensure that you do have all the learning outcomes of the modules that you have completed. It would just make Dr. Jackie's job a lot easier to be able to assess if you do meet the criteria for her module, so that she can give you those exemptions. Okay. And also, again, a very popular question with regards to assignments. If I do require an extension, is the university flexible in giving me an extension on the submission of my assignments?
Yeah, you just have to explain why you want an extension, and you can usually get an extension for up to 10 working days. If you feel you can't submit, and it will take you much longer to do it, then what you can do is just defer your assessment. You can put in extenuating circumstances and defer it to the following term. So our global online administrators help everyone to do that. So don't worry about that. We understand you're busy people, you've got lives, you've got families, things happen. We try to be as accommodating as we possibly can.
Okay, and I've noticed in your presentation that you do have quite a few specializations. So my question is, can I jump from one specialization to another halfway through my studies?
Sometimes people do. So they might start on the general and then they decide they want to maybe specialise in one of the other ones that has managing innovation as part of the specialist route. So yes, potentially you could, or you could take the specialist modules at that point and shift. So it might be the most you would probably have to take is one. So I think my advice then, if you're considering that, is start on the core modules that are core to the whole programme, and then work your way through that, because you might find that, yes, human resource management, for example, might be a really interesting area for you, and you might move from the more general route to something like human resource management.
Okay, and do I require an IELTS in order to do this program? Okay, so I need to continue, Dr. Jackie.
Not at all. I was going to say, best to chat to you about that, Helen, I would imagine, as you be giving them advice.
Absolutely. I was just going to mention that. Please do get in touch with your academic consultant at Stafford. The reason for this is there are a variety of ways that one can actually provide evidence of your English proficiency. So please do get in touch with your academic consultant and we'll be able to advise you accordingly on that. Okay, and one very last question, which is actually a very interesting one. Dr. Jackie, can you let us know if I do finish this MSc Business program, what are my job prospects? Is this quite an important degree that is sorry, let me just quickly see. Is this an important degree that is recognized by other people across the world as well as companies? What is your opinion on this?
Well, I would be biased, wouldn't I? But I mean, we have 20,000 students who believe in Edinburgh Napier degrees at the moment. So, and we've got 9,000 students who've graduated in Hong Kong, for example. So yes, this is a well-respected, well-known degree. As Helen's already said, there is no difference between this degree and a degree that you get if you studied on campus. And if you graduate with us, you'd be standing next to the people who would be getting that degree on campus. So from my perspective, I think this is a fantastic degree. My students have gone on to lots and lots of really fantastic degrees, careers. One went off to lead a language school. Another one went off to do a PhD. Others have just moved up the ranks in their organisation. So yes, it's known, it's trusted. And remember that all UK degrees are all looked at in quite a lot of detail by the governments in the UK. So for instance, we follow all the quality assurance needs that are required by our government. So yes, it's a UK degree, and you can have faith in it.
Excellent, very good. Okay, and so I'm just going to end off the webinar this evening, just briefly telling you about the deadline date, okay, for the applications. Now, the program does start on the 18th of January 2021. The application deadline at the moment is looking at quite close, actually. It's on the 14th of December of 2020. As Dr. Jackie says, it's a very, very popular program. She's already mentioned the number of students that are currently on the program and how many have graduated. And due to the popularity of this program, we really strongly suggest that you try and send us your documents to your academic consultant at Stafford as soon as possible, so we can actually get that very important unconditional offer for you. And just as just another note, that a lot of our students have already paid their first fee and ready and willing to actually start the program in January. So that is how important this program is to many students across the globe. It is a very popular program, so please do get in touch with us and send those documents to us as soon as possible. Okay, again, thank you so much, Dr. Jackie. A very interesting webinar this evening. And thank you, everyone, for joining us, and lovely questions once again. And we do hope that we'll see you on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye for now.